The Walking Dead is back. Yay! Now I get to listen to everyone who's supposedly a fan bitch about how half of the episodes are filler and that they hate this fucking show and they're never watching it again. That'll be fun. I wasn't going to review this season. I just started this channel pretty recently. I didn't have the intention of doing television series, but after doing Slashers Season 2 and currently Channel Zero Season 2, I've been having a lot of fun with them. So I thought, hey, why not? Now, I will say up front, I have not read the comics. I do read a lot of comics, but this is just one I haven't read. So I can't compare what did or did not happen, nor do I care, because I don't have any connection to the source material, clearly. And, you know, I do think that a lot of people take shows like this for granted. I personally think we live in a golden age of television. I mean, we have such incredible shows on television, and we are so spoiled. If you would have told me years ago, 10, 15 years ago, that we would have had like a Dawn of the Dead, huge scaled zombie show with amazing creature effects and whatnot, done by, you know, Greg Nicotero and these guys, I would be like, no fucking way. Nothing like that will ever happen, you know? And while I don't think this is the greatest show ever made, and if you don't know what I think is, I think this show's freaking great. I always enjoy it. There's very few episodes where I'm just like, meh. So many people are so down on the filler episodes. And I see most of the filler episodes as good character development. And I know a lot of horror fans are like, fuck character development. I just want to see zombies get shot and people die. Could they make this show like 4 or 5 episodes a season? And would it be better? I mean, maybe. But I like having this weekly to look forward to. And how often do you think that something big can happen? There's only so many characters. You can't have a fucking character die every episode. You can't have something amazing and major happen every episode. It's not possible. So I enjoy the episodes that I get. And anyway. Now, before I get into this discussion, I want to ask something of you guys. I have not read the comics. Now, when I originally started this show, they introduced something, you know, newer to the zombie genre. I mean, the zombie genre obviously is one of the most played out genres in horror, or subgenres, should I say. And when they introduced this new element of the fact that when you die, you become a zombie, I was like, that's cool. That makes, you know, that's an interesting little spin on it. Like, no matter what you do, if you die of fucking old age, or if you die of a heart attack, or if you die of tetanus, whatever, you're coming back as a zombie. You don't have to be bit. So everyone's infected. Okay, so if everyone is infected, then why when you get bit do you turn? Why when you get bit does that kill you and turn you into it? Do zombies have some kind of like super virus in their mouth and their saliva? You're already infected, so that makes no sense. And that's one of the major things that's always bothered me about this show. It's like, I get that you introduced this, and I personally would have liked to have had this show. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be true to the comics, but I would have preferred everyone's infected, so if anyone gets bit, they don't die from the bite. They can, you know, they're immune to it because they're already infected. And if for some reason they died from bleeding out from it, or if they like bit their throat out, or if they, you know, died from infection from it later, then they would turn into a zombie. That would have been fine. So then you could have had characters like, but then it would have taken away the drama of like, as soon as you're bit, you're dead. Like, that's it, you know. And I get that, but why introduce something like this if you're not going to explain it? So anyway, getting into this, I'm not going to talk about this every time, but I just figured in the first one, hey, can someone explain that to me? Because that doesn't make any sense. This episode starts off with Rick and Maggie and Ezekiel as well, but it's mostly Rick, and it starts and ends with his Independence Day, Bill Pullman speech, which gets you pretty hyped. You're like, yeah, and you kind of see all the faces, and you're like, all right, Maggie's back, and Carol's back, and it's fun because Maggie was pretty much non-existent. She had been hiding, and Carol's like, I'm done with this shit, and Morgan was like, I'm not killing anybody, and now like in this episode he's just like, coming up behind guys and killing them. And I was like, all right. It was weird to hear Weird Al Yankovic, another one, rides the bus in this episode. I was like, that's fun. I love Weird Al, but it's like, this is the song you picked? Is that the one you could afford? I would think Weird Al's music would be more expensive though, so I don't really think it's a budget thing. And this show has a big enough budget, but I was just like, another one rides the bus? Okay, that's fun. And I think the first thing I want to talk about for sure is this whole like foreshadowing of the future. Is this the future? Like, or is this Rick's, dream of what he is hoping the future will be like? That doesn't add up in my head, because then why is Rick injured and limping around? Like, if this is his fantasy, why wouldn't he be, able-bodied and in perfect condition? So I'm guessing this is the future. So is this telling us that Rick and, his daughter, Ass Kicker, I think they give her a name. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head. And Carl and Michonne, like, we were just told that they lived through all of this, which I think with Rick, that's so obvious. So I didn't, like, when I saw that in the trailer for season 5, that like 5-minute trailer, and they showed that at the end, it was kind of like, okay, well, if that is the future, I think it's pretty obvious that Rick lives. I mean, he's that one character that is basically like God mode. He can't die. Like, they're not going to kill Rick in this show. So showing that he lives through this, I mean, he could die in like the last episode of the show ever, or maybe like an episode before or something. But as far as like the length of the show, he's not going to die. I think any other character could, but he's just not one. So yeah. I'm really curious on that. Is that the end of this season? It looks like the end of everything. I mean, Rick's got like a big old fucking Santa Claus beard and like a flat top almost. So whoever the hell gave him that haircut. Yeah, I found that really interesting. And I'm curious to see what happens with that. I don't know if that's in the comics or not. Obviously, if you have read the comics, don't spoil anything down below. I know they don't follow them perfectly, but they follow a lot of the major elements as far as I'm aware. I've heard from friends who have read it. So don't be ruining it for anybody. And another thing that I want to say about like taking this show for granted, like I was talking about earlier, like the special effects, like the zombie makeup and kills and stuff, especially zombie makeup. God, it's so wonderful to see such incredible attention to detail on zombies. Yes, there's like long panning shots where there's like CGI, and you could complain about that. You could complain about that because you have something like this to complain about. People who have everything have a lot more to complain about. But anyway, it's incredible, like, to see these wonderfully crafted zombies and all these amazing like new ways they come up with to show them, and the situations that they're in where they're like ripping their bodies off and they're like crawling out of their skin, and like, it's so fucking cool, man. If somebody can make a compilation of all the zombie gore and zombies in this show, just the really cool money shots of zombies, there'd be like a whole season of it. I mean, we get so many. We get to see them in pretty much every episode, and almost every episode you get to see something new and kind of cool and really visually appealing, and it's a pleasure to me. I know people just kind of look past that stuff. I live in an area where it's beautiful, and I've lived here so long that I literally don't even see it, and it's a tourist destination. So when I go to work and I'm driving there, and people are like talking to me at work who come in as tourists, they're like, isn't it just wonderful to wake up around this all the time? And I kind of like look outside and I'm like, oh yeah. Like, you just take it for granted because it's there all the time around you. And this show's been going for 8 seasons now and has like 16 episodes per season. And that just becomes nothing to you. You're like, another zombie. Like, I'm not even gonna look at it. But if you really pay attention, it's masterful. Like, we get to see that all the time, and it is such a blessing, honestly. Anyway, I'm not going to keep going on about that, but truly it is. Now, my big complaints, and I get that it's for the show and that they can't kill the big bad in the opening episode. This is going to be a long, drawn out 16 episodes of all out war, as the poster, is promising. But it's like, when they get there and Negan walks outside with his whole comrades and they just have clear shots. There's no cover in front of them. There's just like a little railing. And I'm just like, shoot him? Like, there's no reason not to shoot him here. The only reason you stop to even conversate with them at all is to offer some of them, amnesty. Like, really? Fuck those guys. Like, I get it. You want, like, more people, but those guys are never going to be good people. Like, they're shitheads. You know that to be true. Like, they are Negan. They are Negan. So you just got a bunch of Negans inside. So why they waited? Why they didn't station a sniper just in case he was stupid enough to walk out? And then Rick fires a fully automatic weapon at them after their negotiations or their talks or whatever you want to call that is done, and he doesn't hit a single one of them. Like, nothing, and somehow Negan like gets on the ground and crawls away from it. That's impossible. Okay, I'm sorry. Rick is a crack shot. We've seen that many times throughout this show. I remember I was playing little airsoft pellets with my brothers, and those things don't fire anywhere near as fast as bullets. And my brothers were like 10 and 12. They are not marksmen. They are not trained with weapons or anything of this sort. They haven't been in wars and battles and shit like Rick and all these other guys. And I remember I tried to run across the yard, just run as fast as I could to see if they could hit me with airsoft pellet, which, as I said, they don't even fly that fast. And these are not trained kids. And when I was running across that, I just ran as fast as I could across just to see, because I wanted to know if the movies were bullshit or not, knowing they probably were. And I must have got hit, and I'm pretty quick. I mean, I'm 6'3", and I can run pretty fucking fast at times. And I ran as fast as I could. I must have got hit 20 times. I must have got hit 20 fucking times. There's no way that Rick, or not one of the saviors, not one of them was hit. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. And then later on, Gabriel gets locked in a room with him. Gabriel's holding a gun, a fully automatic rifle. Negan walks up with a baseball bat, and he's like, "You're about to shit your pants." And it's like, no, you're about to shit your pants, because people shit their pants when they fucking die, and you're about to die because I have a gun and you have a stupid fucking bat. Like, shoot him. This is not hard. I don't know. It's movies, and it's, it's kind of like when I watch Batman and I'm like, really? No one can just have a sniper rifle and take him out from a distance? Like, when he's patrolling at night and set up a crime and snipe? I mean, it's stupid. But that's movies for you. That's television shows. You got to draw it out. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like they could write better moments where it explains why they're not shooting each other. Negan was out in the open. Really? Fuck off. Anyway, I'm stoked about this season. I'm definitely, I did not expect this to be running like almost 15 minutes, but I had a lot of fun talking about it. So I'm actually looking forward to talking about the rest of this season. Definitely let me know what you thought and predictions for future episodes. Unless you've read the comics and you already know, don't fucking cheat. But I definitely think some people are going down in this season. But with this foreshadowing of the future, I'm like, are those people safe? Because I kind of thought Carl might bite it in this season. But if that's something to go off of, I don't know. So we'll see. I'll make predictions as the season goes on. All right.